I would normally be doing my live from my spot. Where is it? Over there. But there's people's right there on my desk, which kind of goes in perfectly to what this live is going to be about. Bobbing and weaving in life. So I'm sitting at the long picnic table at the park, and it's actually working better because it's in the shade, so you just gotta learn how to bob and weave. I'm gonna wave at these people. Hi, chickadees. Hi. Hi. Sometimes it doesn't want to wave. Okay, so I have a really fun concept that I want to talk about because it seems fitting, especially in my life right now. I cannot wait until my book comes out and I can divulge all about this fun chapter that I'm dealing with and all the fun things that I get to share. But it's under wraps for right now, so you're gonna have to wait. The suspense. But I want to talk about something that took me like up until probably maybe even this last year to embrace concept. I want to talk about when things in your life feel like it's all falling a fucking apart. And why that means that if we can like lean in internally and in our faith. Oh, there's a kitty cat. Why it means that things are actually potentially falling together, and why the concept of like why we're so afraid to let go of things even when they don't serve us anymore means that if we're willing to trust and allow and let go and allow things to flow and get in that uncomfortable spot where there is a little bit of uncertainty, that we always just assume that the fear is that something worse is going to come in, but how we can kind of reframe it in a positive light and use a little bit of faith and think and retrain ourselves that actually something better could be coming for us. And so that's the concept. Just when things look like they're falling apart, because like it just seems like right now particularly myself and a lot of the women that I work with or am friends with, it just feels like there's just like a lot of heavy, a lot of chaos, a lot of emotions, a lot of things coming up, a lot of just like another wave of like this crazy nonsense with the C word, just everything. And for me, anytime it's felt like life is just pummeling me, and that it's like right at that point where you're literally like, God, I just want to kind of fucking give up. It's like right in those moments where I believe we're kind of being tested and asked, like, if we're going to up level and go to a new level, there's always going to be a new devil. And so when we get into these little universal or God tests of like when it rains, it pours, and if we allow it to polish us and go into it with like more of a hopeful attitude, like it might suck now, but what is potentially on the other side of this that I can't logically, because my brain, my logical brain, my programming, my old fears, my conditioning disallows me from seeing like what's on the other side of that. And you know, I always like to say like life is like, you know, my oldest stepkid, he runs cross country. When they go practice, they don't practice on the flattest ground. They go for the big fucking hills. They call one like Murder Hill or Suicide Hill. I don't want to know what it is. I can't remember exactly. But they, for practice, go and find the biggest hills. Because why? So that when the actual true stuff comes, like the actual competition, they're pretty much overtrained for it. And it's like, that is so symbolic to like our life, to me. But we're like afraid to let go, so we always have like these death grips on stuff. And I believe that God is always asking us, like he asks us first in faith, can you give up such and such? And most of the time we're like, fuck no. Because I always have this saying, everything I've ever had to give up in my life has always had claw marks on it. I mean, fuck, things that I should have been throwing away. But it also weaves into like our belief systems about ourselves and our worthiness and the things that we feel like we deserve. Because the more I work with women and the more I get into my business, the more I'm realizing what a detrimental fucking truth it is that a lot of us really settle in all things. We settle in what we accept from other people, what we aim for. We're afraid to reach for the stars. We're afraid to step out, rightfully so. I mean, whatever. But, you know, I'm learning to do this dance called life, and it's not always easy, and I'm not perfect at it. But, like, here's, like, an example. You all know I'm in the Zaya business, which I absolutely love, and I'm having, like, the best fucking time ever in my life. But one of the things is hosting shopping events for other people, and it's a fabulous way to increase your profits and showcase your product and whatever. So you have hosts that host parties. There's a lot of setup to it, so you kind of have to schedule the things out. Well, I had my month scheduled and was getting ready for the next layer of doing, because I have to time block things, and somebody that had committed was like not in a space where she was okay with committing anymore, which I respect, because I want the energy to be good. I'm very big about energy. But that's kind of like, fuck, now what? But the thing about it is I already had in my future head, I had goals. I have like things that I want to accomplish, and like there was like 2 major things that I want to step out of my comfort zone and do and like manifest. And so I've been kind of thinking about it. And so like old me, previous me, that would have been like frantic and been like, fuck, I need to do anything I can to talk her into it and talk her into staying and like force the square fucking peg into the round hole. Like, because we all do that, right? We all try to force things instead of like allowing things to flow. Like, this might not be the right time for this, so if we just kind of like allow it to go and trust that if God is asking us to give up something, he's going to fill that in with something better. And that's one of my biggest like prayer things. When I pray for something, I'm like, okay, this or something better, because then that removes the glass ceiling. So I peacefully was like, okay, that's okay. If you don't want to host a party and you're not in a mental space where you can like positively do that, because to me it requires a great energy flow, I let it go. Instead of letting myself get like wrapped up in it, I was like, it is what it is. And then within fucking like 7 minutes of like coming to terms with something that would have normally annoyed me like 8 months ago, one of my dream things to have happen like fucking fell in my lap. And I was like, yes, I am so glad that I am harnessing all those people. Those people that are sitting at my desk are staring back at me because I'm like getting all loud at the park and yelling. But I was so thankful that I just trusted. In the moment, was it an ideal? And I know this is so small, but it just happened. And so it's my first example that I can use to show this concept. In the moment, I was like, ugh, because you have that initial, like our first reaction is always our programming. So if we can master the pause and get out of reactivity and move into a space of like responding and allowing, and then trusting, but not death gripping and trying to like force outcomes, this or something better always fucking pops in. And that's why I'm like, okay, life is turning into so much more fun than I originally thought it ever could be. Because like, listen, the last 2 years being around here, I've not been like unicorn farts and glitter, but I'm now getting into this space where, okay, this is like chaos. This is not cool what's happening right now. But if God is asking me to give this up, let it go, what good is going to come from this, and how am I going to grow from this? Because I have to be in a trusting space that whatever it is that I am going through, that is adversity, that is uncomfortable, that looks like it's not going to be a favorable outcome, that looks like it's not going to be fair, I believe wholeheartedly I am being tested in my faith and my confidence in myself, and in the concept of like, believing in things that are unseen, which I'm huge in. Like Mark 11:24 is like my fucking jam. And the more I play with it, it's scary, but the more I come back with better outcomes than I can even imagine. And so my like hope message for you today is learn to be more curious, maybe, and not so much into the victim of why is this happening to me, but like more of like, okay, what am I supposed to get out of this? Like when I bust out this chapter in my life in my book, you guys are gonna flip your fucking shit. But I already have like the seed feelings of why, the purpose of what I'm going through right now. Like I know I'm a fierce fucking person. I know I was created for very big, specific reasons. I know I can move energy. I know I'm a change maker. And so with all those knowings, I know that I have to go through certain unfavorable things so that I know where injustices lie, where I know work needs to be done. And I know that if I'm confident in my own ability to work for what's right, I can change things. And so again, when things are looking like they're falling apart, they're actually really falling together, because I feel like if I just allow myself to be used for whatever is good on this earth that needs to be, and you too, and we trust, we're always going to be taken care of, whether you believe in God or not. That is just like the law of like life. But we try to control things, right? And like, what's that saying? We never had control anyway. All we had was like anxiety. And like, that's like really, really it. So it's like, I know I can't control all these things, but what can I control about it is my thoughts about it. And like, what am I supposed to be gaining from it? And how am I supposed to be growing from this? And growth is usually uncomfortable. Don't you remember, did any of you guys like have like growing pains in your legs when you were growing up? It was like, you couldn't get comfortable sleeping. Ow, the bitey flies. All right, we're supposed to learn stuff from life, but fuck the flies. That bites your ankles. But, you know, it was uncomfortable because we're growing. And then when we get through it, it's like, oh my God, we've been polished. We've been prepared. We're ready for this. And now we can reach back and we can bring others through it too. And like, for those of you out there that are dealing with just like some nonsense, we're being prepared, you know? And we're not going to like not be taken care of, but we just have to do our I think our number one task is just to work on having faith. And that is such a fucking struggle, especially when so many of us, myself included, for like the first 37.27 years of my life, was in such a victim mode, you know, and we give away our power. And we're actually much more capable than that. And then if we can use the tools and like appreciate the process, then we're ready for new things. And then we get into our next space. And so it's like when we're in that moment of chaos and it feels like things are falling apart, it's like, again, we're like that bow and arrow where like it's drawn back and we're ready to propel forward into like the new level. But the chaos is the test. And like, what do they say? Like, the teacher's always quiet during tests. So when it feels like God or whoever you pray to has like left you, he hasn't. He's totally there, always. And he's just watching. And we have an opportunity. It's like a fork in the road. Do we repeat old mistakes, or do we evolve? And we're always going to get zingers. We're always going to get tests. Like, now I understand this concept when I watch the women that I work with, and they like kind of go through the same thing. And I'm like, this is a repeat or evolve like situation. And like, are you going to respond in the same way? Because to grow and to change, we can't think, be, and do and behave in the same way that we always have, you know? And I don't know, like, I don't know about you, but life is like really crazy right now. Like, I couldn't even script. I couldn't even. But I just, you know, we just got to bob and weave. Because we're really, in this body, we're only given like one shot at this thing. And we might as well do everything in our power that we can control, which is our thoughts and our heart and what we take from our experiences, and learn how to use them for us instead of like being pummeled by them. And so my message today on this live chirp was that just know that if you're in like a funky right now, if you're going through something that is like unfavorable, or you just think it's not going to turn out for you, sometimes we have to let go of something mediocre, and then be comfortable in that space where there is nothing, to allow something better to come in, a more uplifting, more up-leveling, more fitting thing, but we have to retrain ourselves to learn and know that we deserve better. And I also believe that we kind of get tested, like a little law. We get like, okay, so we let go of like, maybe we have a breakup with a friend, a boyfriend, or this or that, and new guy comes along and he's just spitting image. How many girls, I know at least one person, Facebook, you watch the friend, all of a sudden she's got a million selfies with the boyfriend, it's their profile pic, she's in love, best guy ever, posts everything, then they break up, and then 2 months later it's the same thing on repeat, because they haven't changed. And there you can tell that their self-worth hasn't elevated, because they keep accepting the same thing, because we're just kind of like, oh my God, we just need stuff to fill the spaces. And so if God's asking you to let go of something, it means let it go. Do what you need to do to improve your own self-concept, and that know that you deserve better in all things, and how we treat ourselves, how we treat other people, what we accept from other people. Like, if you know you deserve better, stop accepting less than from anything. It is okay. Like, it is okay to go against the grain. It is okay to step away from the crowd and be like, maybe I'm the only one, but I don't agree with it. It doesn't feel good. And I'm not going to do it, because I know I deserve more and better. And you might be lonely for just a little while, but that's your test. And then something similar from the old like thing might pop in, and you might be like, oh, this is what I know, so I'm going to just accept it at the same level of self-worth. And you didn't grow, you know what I mean? And like, it's such a weird process to like allow that, and to be trusting in that. And that it's always like, when I see somebody going through like a massive shakeup, I kind of secretly like morbidly get excited, because I'm like, this is where all the beautiful stuff happens if we just allow it. But we're afraid of it, because we just do everything we can in our logical, forcey mind to fix it. Like, we're fixers, but we need to be more of a like trusters and faithers and allowers. And that takes a lot for me to say, because like I'm a recovering fixer. I want to fix everybody. I want to fix it now, and I want it fixed done, and I want it done. But it's like, fuck, when something shitty comes and your knee-jerk reaction is to be like, fuck, this is gonna fucking set me back, da-da-da. And I'm like, catch yourself, breathe it in, and then just know that if we can keep our energy neutral and above in a trusting, allowing space, we're never going to be left high and dry. We're never going to be left high and dry. And so that's my chirp for today. If you're going through something rough, a little rough patch, just know there's purpose for it. Might fucking suck. I'm not going to take that away from it. It might suck bad, but there's purpose for it. And if we can learn how to utilize it and become more curious, it's only going to improve the quality of our lives and those around us. And then if we can understand how this dance works, we can start bobbing and weaving a little better, and not getting wrapped up in the rigmarole, and not getting, our vibes in our lives just like taken through the ringer. We have more of a conscious choice of how we want to feel, and how we want to be, and how we want to walk, and all the things. And so definitely know that when it feels like it's falling apart, everything, that's a good sign. Then instead of worrying about what's right in front of you, all the facts, the proof, the shit, the bullshit, then maybe it's time to go take a walk, get into nature, and think and pause and say, well, there's no going back, but what do I want going forward? Like, why are we so afraid of asking for what we want, or being like very specific and like creating how we want to feel, because we're not taught that. And so that's your opportunity today, is to start being more of an active participant in life and really stop trying to force things, because we don't have control, you know? I mean, I believe that we can guide and intentionally think about the things that we want, but we have to be trusting. But also we have to elevate our self-worth too, so that the more we believe in ourselves and what we deserve wholeheartedly, then when we let something go, something this or better will come in its place. And yeah, because yesterday seemed like a really heavy, it's a very interesting day, but today is a new day. It's a great day for all of us. I know it's going to be, and sometimes we all can't be up, but we all can't be down either. And I think that if we just do our part to keep our minds right and work on our own energy and learning these concepts, like this one was a biggie for me, but it's really been life-changing. Am I perfect at it? No. But I do catch myself more. And then when the good things happen, like, you know, I had to let go of the one Zaya thing, and then like a bigger, better thing came in that I was like dreaming of, and I was kind of putting off, like maybe next month this will happen, or maybe in a little while it'll happen. And then without even having to actively like seek it out, it came to me because the space was open. Because it's like when you have a glass of muddy water, you know, and you want it to be clean, and you just keep adding like clean water in, there's muddy still in there, right? So you have to like empty it out. Like, this is so cute. These people, I'm staring at them. He's rubbing her back. They're having a picnic. They're like, my desk. I'll be willing to give up my desk for the view. But they're having a picnic, and it's so nice. She's wearing like a nice dress, and now she's leaning into him, and he's got his hand around her. And they're not on their phones. And they got like flowers in like a can of beans in the middle of the table. And they're from 14 County. Where is that? I don't even know. But it's like so cute. And so I was like, you know what? I'll give up my spot, my hot spot, the place I always come, for people to indulge in love and like have the vibes that are like flowing from over there. I think it's pretty fucking cool. Because when's the last time we've done that, right? God, Bearded Things wants me to, I think he wants me to burn my phone, because between Zaya and my coaching and stuff, I'm always on it anymore. But that's okay. It's just the way it is. But anyway, it's Thursday. It's nice. I hope you got something out of this. If nothing else, hope. I'm going to keep speaking because I believe in this. And the reason I believe in it is because I practice this in my life, and I see the profound changes. And I see that after struggle becomes like abundance, and like there is purpose for all this stuff. And I'm just going to keep spreading my message and hoping that it up-levels you in some way. And if not, no harm, no foul, right? But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day.